Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Uno, dos, tres. Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
Don't have to say test. You could say uno, dos.
Devon Nessine, son of Craig Nessine and Tamara Hogan. Alex Oppold, son of Randy and Sean Oppold. Felipe Pasquale, proudly accompanied by Brandon Moore. Jacob Randall, son of Steve and Sheila Sample. Aiden Sand, son of Wade and Melissa Sand. Isaac Sarbacker, son of Steve and Sarah Sarbacker. Sam Siegel, son of Steve and Micah Siegel. Jonathan Smith, son of Jamie and Kirsten Smith. Wyatt Vandentop, son of Paul and Kim Vandentop and Jessica and Chris Pappas. And Spencer Wassman, son of Chris and Angela Wassman. Our student manager, Maya Wilson, daughter of Ray Wilson and Jessica Ranger. Brooke Lindsay, daughter of Todd and Sonia Lindsay. Allie Van Rogelen, daughter of Mike and Becky Van Rogelen. We'd like to ask all parents of Lincoln football players, cheerleaders, and student managers, if your son or daughter is involved, please stand at this time and be recognized. And we thank you for all you do. Just a quick note here with the Howard Wood Field rules and regulations. No outside food or drink is allowed in the stadium. Spectators must remain behind the fence at all times. Post-game, students are allowed, only students are allowed, spectators to participate in the tunnel. All adult spectators must exit under the grandstand. Students must go off the field, but they can go down the track. Gambling or use of intoxicating beverages is not permitted in the stadium or on the premises. This is a smoke-free facility. You are asked to refrain from smoking while in attendance here. Lost and found articles may be claimed or turned in at the field house or at the ticket table. And tickets to pass out and come back during the game will not be issued. Thank you very much for your cooperation. At this time, we'll be introducing our cheerleaders. And first, for the visiting Roosevelt Rough Riders. And the Roosevelt cheerleaders are Alex Gullickson, Caitlin Reiswick, Haley Brown, Jada Horton, Katie Nielsen, Haley Cotton, Larissa Hansen, Mackenzie Leach, Morgan Pensick, Sammy Coombs, Sydney Corp, Taya Tees, and Val Dean. Their cheer coach is Kiana Pardee. The Lincoln cheerleaders are Summer Anderson, Haley Carlson, Lauren Jatan, Morgan Lawson, Una Mushinovich, Ellie O'Connor, Kiara Pepper, Kate Sargent, Elizabeth Poisson, Savannah Chin, Ella Stern, Jaime Yetmarek, Azzy Bruns, Marina Martin, Maddie Newman, and Morgan Sandus, and their cheer coaches are Betsy Plucker and Shannon Nowick. Tonight we welcome the team fans and the riders from Sioux Roosevelt High School. The schools participating in this event are members of the South Dakota High School Activities Association that have adopted the rules under which this game is conducted. As for our commitment to excellence, fair play, and sportsmanship are all vital to this activity's success. Lincoln High School and Roosevelt High School appreciate no recognition of the values being taught at this educational event. Your officials for tonight's event are referee Darren Bird, umpire Mike Rudder, head linesman Chad Gordon, line judge Kerry Rediswich, and back judge Jim Fitzgerald. These officials are registered by the South Dakota High School Activities Association. They have worked hard to learn the rules and apply them fairly. We request that you respect their honest efforts in administering this contest. Joey Struy, Activities Principal for Lincoln High School, is the host game administrator this evening. At this time, please stand and remove your hats for the entrance of our national colors and remain standing for the national anthem. All veterans and out-of-uniform military personnel may salute the flag. The colors are being presented by Cadet Captain Archer Hoffpower, Cadet First Lieutenant Riley Dinger, Cadet Corporal Maya Roth, and Cadet Corporal Sarah Miller from the Lincoln High School Marine Corps JROTC. The Marine Corps JROTC is a full-credit elected force that places heavy value on development of self-discipline, leadership, honor, and integrity. Our national anthem will be played by the Lincoln High School Marching Band under the direction of Dan Carlson and Sam Carlson. Please continue to stand and remain silent until the colors are retired. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you.
After opening the season with convincing victories last week, the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Roughriders and the Sioux Falls Lincoln Patriots will meet in a matchup of city rivals. Good evening from Howard Field in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and welcome to this presentation of high school football. My name is Eli Cadoon. I am joined by Brent Bowen and Chase Moulton. We are members of the Roosevelt High School and Lincoln High School sports broadcast team. The Rough Riders move into the top spot in this week's 11 Class AAA and media poll after defeating the former number 1 ranked team, the Brandon Valley Lynx, last week at Howard Wood Field. The Riders beat the Lynx 28-13 to move to 1-0. The Patriots are 5th in this week's Class 11 AAA media poll after posting a 39-3 win over the Watertown Arrows last week in Watertown. It's time to meet the starting lineups. You are watching Sioux Falls Roosevelt and the Sioux Falls Lincoln on Howard Wood Field YouTube channel and KLRN.
Mike Paulson. At tight end, number 19, Caden Jordan. At tackle, number 66, Ben Coles. At tackle, number 67, Sam Coles. At guard, number 65, Nick Pruitt. At guard, number 78, Dylan Prisbilla. At center, number 56, Nick Bunkers. At quarterback, number 12, Brady Dannenbrand. Flankerback, number 17, Presley Johnson. Slot back, number 6, Tyler Pelkamp. And running back, number 20, Tyree Nave. And the head coach for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, Kim Nelson. And the starting defense for the Lincoln Patriots, defensive end number 75, Alex Otto. Defensive end number 88, Mitchell Iacker. Defensive tackle number 78, Joseph McCurria. Defensive tackle number 79, Jonathan Smith. Linebacker number 7, Aiden Sands. Linebacker number 42, Jack Hughes. Linebacker number 49, Jacob Rambo. Defensive back number 25, Devon Nessheim. Defensive back number 5, Spencer Wasman. Strong safety number 4, Andrew Blazevich. And free safety number 22, Samuel Siegel. And the head coach for the Lincoln Patriots is Jared Bredenberg.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. My name is Eli Kadoon, and I am joined by Brent Bowen and Chase Moulton. You can watch this broadcast anytime on the Howard Wood Field YouTube channel. You have met the starting lineups for both teams, and it is now time for the coin toss.
We have one program change here for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Listed as number 64, Caleb Dwyer. That number now is 99. Caleb Dwyer is number 99 for Roosevelt.
Roosevelt wins the toss. Defers their option for the second half. Lincoln will receive to start the game. Good luck, men.
Welcome back again to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. As we saw in that coin toss, Roosevelt won the toss, elected to decline, and Lincoln has decided to return the ball here.
It looks like Hunter Merkley and Leo K.E. will be back there to receive.
And we see, let's see, who is it? We'll see the it appeared to be a good kick there by David Alpers. trips again, and they hand it off to Tyree Nave right up the gut.
And both teams are going a little no huddle. We saw it with Lincoln a little bit too, and Rose.
Switching this up, and Dannenberg, it looks like he's going to throw it to Nave on the far sideline, and he gets as we see they have
They're going for a pass.
Dannenberg.
powerful and playful, delicate and precise, bold and carefree. It's the way you move, and it moves us. To deliver care for your whole family, to provide options beyond the expected, to help you leave pain in the past and find your way forward. Orthopedics and sports medicine at Sanford Health. Health lives here.
camp, but way too high. And we see that a lot with Dannenbrink. He obviously has a cannon on him, but he's got a really good cannon on him because he over. Not untypical for you see a lot of guys do that, but I mean we'll have to see if Dannenbrink can hone that in, and he gets a wide open Michael
he
Paulson,
is going. He's going. The 50, the 40, the 30, the 20 break. Going. He is gone. He gets the touchdown.
Absolutely insane. One man is all it took.
That's what happened last year too in the first round game against Aberdeen Central. The first touchdown of the game was scored on a 92-yard touchdown to, I believe, Michael Paulson too. That's his second 90-plus yard touchdown in 2 seasons.
And that is,
I guess I should say 4 games because there's only been 3 or 4 games in between.
I mean, that is a heartbreaker for Lincoln. You have them starting on their own 5, and they get a touchdown in 2 plays. I mean, but we'll have to see if Benny Yellowbird can hit this field goal, which would be it's not necessarily crucial this early in the game, but towards the end of the game, it could be a very big part, and it looks like
the extra point is good.
It is now 7-0. I mean, that was very impressive. I mean, that took 2 plays to go 95 yards, and that stings if you're Lincoln. I mean, that really stings because, yeah. So we'll be back. We have 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first quarter here in the Roosevelt Lincoln football game, and it is currently 7-0.
See what Lincoln can do when they get back.
Unrivaled agility and SDN's managed cybersecurity services help Hank connect and serve all of his office locations with ease. Up your IT game with SDN's reliable broadband network. Enjoy the uptime.
Benny Yellowbird prepares to kick off.
Welcome back to the Howard Wood Field and this presentation of high school football. Quick tidbit on that. That was a school record for Roosevelt. That was a 95-yard career longest touchdown pass. The school record was a 98-yard 89 pass from Derek Fowler to Nate Overton, and that has been standing for Roosevelt since 2002. So that's a
very, very.
It's a very long record. I mean, that's impressive. And I mean, we saw
Hunter Merkley return in the ball, and he looks a little slow coming out, but not too noticeable.
Yeah, and as we see, they started at their own 22. So I mean, pretty consistent at least if you're Lincoln for field position. It's not like you're starting off on your 5 like we have seen from Roosevelt. Maybe that's what they want because then they can do what Roosevelt just did. So
I mean, I'll start on my 5 every time if I get a touchdown.
Yeah. So, and we see a nice little handoff here to Kay, and he tries to make some magic.
It's about maybe a yard.
It's dog piled on, and so I mean, if you're Lincoln, I don't know. I'd keep doing what you're doing. I mean, keep throwing passes, keep running the ball, keep trying to keep Roosevelt on their toes because Roosevelt's very good at recognizing patterns on defense at least, and then exploiting those patterns. So we'll have to see if Lincoln sticks with their constant switching of their plays, but we'll have to see as we see Tommy Thompson.
Hunter Merkley in motion.
Sends Merkley in motion, and Tommy Thompson keeps it. Gets
keeper,
a lead block.
Going.
Gets a good chunky yardage there.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, he appears to get about 5-6 yards on that. So something that they needed. And I mean, do you keep doing that? The only issue with that is, do you want to keep risking your quarterback for that? I mean,
and your punter.
Yeah, I mean, quarterback and punter. That's a double whammy. I mean,
3rd and 4 now.
And we see Tommy Thompson trying to draw Roosevelt off sides here, and looks like some play confusion on the sideline. Tommy Thompson steps into the backfield, has a bunch of time.
He had all day to throw.
Great job on defense there by Joey Hughes of staying on his man. I believe it was Luke Smith, but I mean, great job of defense still. I mean, it's 4th down and 4-9.
Powerful and playful.
We'll have to see if, we'll see Lincoln punt here. We'll have to see if Roosevelt can get the ball to Tyler Feldkamp. He's been, last year, he was one of their biggest tools. He was a huge asset to the team.
Family.
I think his first punt, he got a touchdown against Washington, which is no easy feat. I mean, he obviously can do a lot of damage, and we'll have to see if he gets the ball, and it looks like he might get it. As he is hit almost as soon as he gets the ball.
Nice wrap up there.
Great job. Kay was down there and hit Tyler Feldkamp almost immediately.
I think that's actually Isaiah Robinson.
Yeah, I think it was both between Kay and Robbins, both met him. So, I mean, great job of, they're isolating Tyler Feldkamp, and that's a big portion of Lincoln being able to stop Roosevelt this well so far. So, I mean, we still have a minute and a half in the first quarter. Still lots and lots of playing time. And it's been a very exciting game. I mean, saw one school record get broke already this year, and it's only the 2nd game of the year. I mean, it's going to be, I think this is going to be a barn burner, to be honest, and we'll see a typical I formation here as Dannenberg keeps the ball, throws to a wide open Feldkamp on the sideline.
Oh,
gets
stiff arm.
Stiff arm.
He's at the 40.
Makes
Juking
a man
at the 30.
Jukes him. And he's out at about the 27.
Wow, he's just making guys fall down to the ground. And 2 guys right there, and one guy fell flat on his back, and the other guy, just a great job there, but not letting him go free, as Roosevelt might have had back-to-back long touchdowns if he wouldn't have saved that.
And that is what I'm talking about. That's the stuff from Tyler Feldkamp that we have not seen so far this year, and it is amazing to watch that. Because, I mean, you see that, and we see a pass get batted down at the line here. I mean, Tyler Feldkamp, when that's what happens, I mean, that's what I was talking about. When they don't isolate him, they don't hit him when he gets the ball, they don't wrap up. He does stuff like that. So great job there by Feldkamp. And we'll see it trips and a hand to Nave up the middle, and he gets about 6 on that.
Such a power back.
I mean, very, very strong. As we saw last game, he just does not stop. He just keeps on going. We'll see quick offense here from Roosevelt as they have the same formation and trips, and he does a screen to Feldkamp on the far side, and he breaks another tackle, and he's still going.
If you're Lincoln, you cannot be happy with missing these tackles.
Yeah, and that's another first down for Feldkamp. I mean, this is prime examples of what I was talking about, how they were doing a great job of hitting him right as he got the ball, keeping an eye on him, making sure he was isolated, and now that it's kind of, Roosevelt's doing a good job of getting him enough space where he can actually work with what he has. But I mean, we'll have to see as we see a trips onto the near sideline, and Dannenberg's waiting. He's in the shotgun here. Maybe some play confusion. There's only a few seconds left.
1 second left. They're gonna call a play,
and looks like they get about to the 4-yard line with a connection to Caden Jordan. So, I mean, exciting first quarter. I mean, Roosevelt did a good job of marching down the field there. So, I mean, first quarter's done. So, start of second quarter. It's still 7-0. We'll have to see what happens when we return in the second quarter.
Good.
Unrivaled agility and SDN's managed cybersecurity services help Hank connect and serve all of his office locations with ease. Up your IT game with SDN's reliable broadband network. Enjoy the uptime.
Welcome back to Roosevelt, to Howard Field and this presentation of high school football. Before the second quarter started, we just wanted to read off a few of the stats from both Roosevelt and Lincoln, courtesy of our statisticians, Emily Jones, Maddie Tranberg, and Destiny Duncan.
And Roosevelt stats here for Roosevelt. Brady Danneberg 6 for 10 with 151 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Michael Paulson has that big 95-yard touchdown catch, including another 8-yard reception, which gives him 2 catches with 103 yards and 1 touchdown. Feldkamp has 2 catches for 39 yards, and Tyree Nave surprisingly only has 2 carries for 9 yards, including 1 catch for 1 yard, and Caden Jordan also didn't catch for 9 yards.
And for Lincoln, Hunter Merkley has 2 catch for 24 yards, which impressively averaging 12 yards reception, and Tommy Thompson is 4 for 5, which is very good, or 50 yards.
And so great stats there from our statisticians, so thank you for that. And as we saw there, Dannenbrink got kind of swarmed in the backfield and had to take the ball up the middle, so he only got about a yard. So Roosevelt's still sitting pretty good. They got a first down on it, so I mean they got where they wanted, so it's first and goal on the 4-yard line. So we'll have to see if Lincoln can hold them to a field goal or maybe even make them miss a field goal, and we see Nave get absolutely destroyed in the backfield.
That is Jacob Randall is what it looked like.
So I mean, great job there of at least Lincoln getting through there, because that's the first time I've seen that. I mean, we've only had 1 game, but Nave usually doesn't get stopped like that. So it's we'll have to see if Roosevelt can punch this ball in, as we've seen that Lincoln obviously has some very good goal line defense, and we'll see that Dannenbrink is set in an I formation with Nave behind him and 2 men split out. As he keeps the ball, and he looks like he's going to try and run it in here.
Faked out Jacob Randall, and he does get the touch.
Just takes it in himself.
Yeah, that's what we did not see from Brady Danneberg last year, as he never tucked the ball and ran, or if he did, he'd just slide after a couple yards. But we've seen him this year and even last week against Brandon be way more aggressive on the ground and taking a few more hits than he did last year.
Yeah, he's definitely decided that
he wants to become a dual threat.
Yeah, he's started to kind of morph into what Carter Lohr kind of used to be. He used to kind of throw a lot but also run a lot, and we'll see Yellowbird, it appears, hits this. So it's now 14-0, and we're a minute and 20 seconds into this this second quarter. So, I mean, exciting game all around. It's kind of surprising that it's this much in Roosevelt's favor after the start of how this game went. I was expecting this to be really a very, very competitive game. Not that there's not competitiveness. It's just I was expecting a much lower scoring game. So, I mean, we'll have to see how Lincoln responds to this now, because they're down by 2 touchdowns, and we're down 1 quarter already. So they've got to start, or at least keep doing what they're doing. I think that what they're doing has been very successful for them, very positive for them. So I mean, I don't see any changes that need to be made. I just see that they need to maybe follow through on some of their stuff and continue to work their way down the field and
maybe get better with the run there a little bit more.
Yeah. We will see. Roosevelt will again kick off. David Alpers will be the kicker here, and it looks like Hunter Merkley and Kay are in the backfield here for Lincoln, and Alpers gets a good kickoff.
Merkley will receive, and he's at the 20.
And he takes it about to the 30-yard line here. So, I mean, better field position than what they have been. So, we'll have to see what Lincoln decides to do here, because there's a lot of options that they could do. They could, focus really heavily on passes and trying to get this ball downfield as fast as they can and try and get in there and score, or they could try and wear down Roosevelt like they have been, which, I mean, both are decent options. It's not like it's fourth quarter and we have half the quarter left. So, I mean, they still have time to wear them down.
I think down by 2 scores, I think they're going to try to go more pass heavy.
Yeah, and we'll see that as Thompson airs it out deep to a very, very wide open Luke Smith. And that's the stuff that we needed to see from Lincoln to have this success. And I'm guessing that they're going to keep rolling with that because, I mean, why not? It's working.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, so, I mean, as we see, they're going to set up into an interesting formation here. With Thompson in the backfield here. He'll head it off to K, and he does not get yardage. He gets about to the line of scrimmage with forward progress. And that's not even K, that's Isaiah Robinson. And for that one. So, yeah, I mean, the run, like we saw, has not been very successful. And, I mean, it hasn't been successful against Roosevelt's defense at all this season. I mean, Brandon Valley, who won a state championship last year with a super heavy run offense, couldn't do much run-wise. So, I mean, Roosevelt's defense is super well off, run-oriented, as we see that K gets stopped after about 4 yards. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Lincoln responds to this because, I mean, their pass game has been extremely successful. I mean, we saw that big 20 or 30-yard pass that Thompson and Smith had there. Thompson had to Smith, and we'll have to see. As it looks like they might go another pass as they have two men split out wide on each side, and Thompson connects with K.
That'll be a first down.
Yeah, so I mean, that's good stuff to see from Lincoln. He got 10 yards on that, which is big. I mean, that just put them. I don't know how good their field goal kicker is, but that puts them in possible field goal range is what I was going to say, but maybe not. I just looked at how far away that is, but and we'll see. They set Hunter Merkley now into motion.
They seem to like to do that a lot. Oh, and they hand it off to Merkley.
This is a new play, and that could be very useful for them if they're right on the goal line. I mean, we haven't seen that one before. I mean, that was a very well orchestrated play, and if it was a little bit better blocking, that could have been really successful. So,
seem to like to use Hunter Merkley kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. They're still going no huddle here. Lincoln is powering through this. I mean, we'll see two men split out. Thompson's waiting. Makes a connection here with Smith. About 6 yards there, 7 yards maybe. Good. I mean, we've seen some really good stuff all around from Lincoln after this drive. I mean, this drive has been probably their biggest success so far, and they've gone almost 80 yards or somewhere near that down the field, 60 yards or so, and we'll see K get the ball and get them another first down. So, I mean, maybe I spoke too soon about the run for Lincoln and how
mix it in there with the pass. It seems like it's going real well.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that a lot with Roosevelt and Brandon. Roosevelt would switch it up every once in a while. They'd go a really heavy pass and they'd throw in a run and they'd get 8 yards or 10 yards from Nave. And maybe we're seeing that same thing here, and we'll see a flag. It looks like a shift there by
left tackle there. Looked like Caleb Dumke, but
Yes, that will be a false start.
that was high end.
So yeah, Doug Berg says it's a false start. I mean, we saw that. There was a few guys. I saw Elliot Hackett. I saw Brent saw one of their tackles, left tackles. I mean, so it's not terrible. It's not like it was 4th and 1 and now it's 4th and 6. So I mean, that's not the worst thing that could have happened for them in that situation. And we'll have to see what Thompson does with two men split out near, and
there's Elliot Hackett. He's going.
Taken out at the feet. Very good job there by Tucker Large, just taking him out right at the feet. So, I mean, big play there for Lincoln, and we see about a 10-yard gain from them. So, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot wrong with this drive. Even if they don't score on it, which it seems very unlikely that they don't score. There's a lot of benefits from it. I mean, you can see that they've
hand it to Isaiah Robinson, and he looks like he's going to get a touchdown.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, lots of benefits from that. They got down the field in 4 minutes. I mean, that's really good, especially with what they were doing. I mean, that's very beneficial for them, I think. So I think it's going to be a really interesting ball game now that we see that Lincoln kind of has a little bit more momentum on their side. And we'll have to see if they make this extra point. Can't quite read that number, but I'll have to see if they get this. And it appears like they do. So we do get...
I think that's Mitch Iacker. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it looks like Mitchell Iacker there. So it's now it's 7-14. It's a one-score game. Roosevelt gets the ball. 6 minutes, 36 seconds left. Riders are up 14-7, and we will be back shortly.
Powerful and playful. Delicate and precise. Bold and carefree. It's the way you move, and it moves us. To deliver care for your whole family. To provide options beyond the expected. To help you leave pain in the past and find your way forward. Orthopedics and sports medicine at Sanford Health. Health lives here.
And welcome back to Howard Field. We have some drive details, so I'm going to throw it over to Chase over here for those.
So that drive was 9 plays and went 71 yards in 3 minutes and 58 seconds.
So, I mean, now we'll see Roosevelt gets the ball back. And maybe they got some more wind in their sails now that Lincoln scored on them. Maybe they're down in the dumps because I don't know. But it'll be kind of interesting as we'll have Feldkamp back here with, I'm guessing that's Nave that's also back with them. So we'll have to, we don't have the number of the kicker who just kicked that, but it looks like Nave took that ball and he's still going. I mean,
about the 40.
So yeah, I mean, that was one of the better returns we've seen from Roosevelt out of this game. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, like I said, how Roosevelt responds to the Lincoln score. They have 3 men set out wide, and Dana brings in the shotgun. So we'll have to see if they go for a pass. As Mitch
Iacker with a big sack. Oh, looks like a fumble. And I think
this might be
Lincoln might have got that.
They're holding up a second down. It appears that it's Roosevelt football.
I think Dana Bird might have, it looked like he was down.
Yeah, he might have been down before he dropped it, but
I think they ruled it as a fumble, but he definitely looked down, at least from up here.
And big loss, 10-yard loss for Roosevelt there. So not the best way to start this drive out. I mean, there are a lot better ways that you could have started that. So we'll have to see how they respond to this now as we see that they have 2 men split out wide on each side. Looks like a little bit of confusion maybe. And we'll see Dan and Brigg take it. Hands it off to Nave. And he's going. He is still going. He gets all the way back to the original line of scrimmage.
And plus a few more yards from that. Now that makes it 3rd down and reasonable, and you might not have to get all the 7 yards to keep the drive going.
Yeah, I mean, great job by Roosevelt there bouncing back from that. So, I mean, and we'll see if Dannenberg throws it over the far side to Feldkamp. And
big hit by Spencer Wasman there.
Yeah. So, I mean, great job back from that. So maybe Lincoln has realized what Feldkamp and Dannenberg can now over the far side to kind of maintaining their watch on him. So, I mean, and we'll see a little bit better. And Dannenberg throws it over the far side. Here's that Feldkamp staying out there. I don't know why exactly they would, and it looks like, yep, they're switching out. So they're going to punt this here.
Watch out for the fake punt here. Vance Borch is a former quarterback, and it's 4th and short, so you never know. And plus, you got guys out. You got a couple guys out wide too. Plus the Kusler twins in there. You never know.
Yeah, and I mean we'll see Kay back there and Isaiah, excuse me, I can't remember his name. Isaiah Robinson.
Timeout
We see a
by Roosevelt.
Interesting. I'm not sure what happened there, but
They could have been going for the fake.
Yeah.
Just some confusion there.
With 4 minutes, 34 seconds left in this second quarter, so not too long before halftime, and so far a very exciting first few halves. But I mean, Roosevelt appears to be punting it. Like Chase said, maybe they're going for a fake. Maybe that was a possibility that they were thinking of, and they decided to go against it. I don't know, but we'll see what they decide to do. Because, I mean,
Lincoln also is very loud.
Yeah, and we're right on top of Lincoln's student section, and they are very rowdy. So, I mean, whether or not that plays a role in this or not, I don't know. But David Alpers has a very good punt. And
it's like Sam Siegel returning.
Yeah, and gets about 10 yards on it, maybe 7 or so. But, yeah, I mean, pretty consistent field position for Lincoln, if I had to be honest. I mean, they've started at their 20 nearly every single drive, so I mean, it's pretty impressive if you think about it. But, I mean, Lincoln now has almost 4.5 minutes to work with, and they scored with a longer drive and less time than this. I mean, it's still very possible that Lincoln could march back down here and tie this football game up before they have to give the ball back to Roosevelt, which would be huge for them. And
there's Leo K.
Yeah.
He got out there for about
5 yards there. So, I mean, still some real liveliness.
Oh, and he is
down.
slow to get up.
K is grabbing at his knee hard.
Yeah,
and he's still down. And we will be back when we'll have to see what happens with K here, as that is a big loss for Lincoln. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. As we see Kay walk off the field here, and he's limping extremely hard. So hopefully everything's okay with him. Hopefully, I don't know if we'll see him back in the game, but hopefully he can keep going later in the season at least. And we'll see Thompson.
To Elliott Hackett. He's stiff armed. He's breaking tackles.
Yeah, so still some liveliness here out of Lincoln. I mean, even as their main running back goes down, I mean, that's a pretty tough thing to come back from. They still can get the job done, which is a good sign. So we'll have to see as they go no huddle yet again. It's a very common thing that Lincoln has been doing this whole game, and we'll see two men split out near side here, and they'll do a handoff to
Isaiah Robinson.
Yeah, their backup running back here, Isaiah Robinson. And I mean, he was the one that scored their last touchdown, so I mean, might as well. He's obviously had some success, so keep him in as long as you can. So, and we're still doing hurry up here as we see just Lincoln staring at their sideline. I mean, wondering what to do here. We're trying to do some hurry up here. If you're Lincoln, you're trying to do hurry up, that is not what you want to see with just standing around. I mean, giving Roosevelt a break as they hand it off to Robinson to this far sideline, and he gets about 2 or 3 yards on that one. So, I mean, run game is still there. Maybe not necessarily as much as we saw it in the earlier parts of this game, or as we saw maybe like end of the first quarter, but I mean, it's still there, and we're seeing Robinson doing a good job here as I mean, he scored a touchdown off of it. He's still doing a lot here for them. So we'll have to see. And they send Isaiah Robinson out motion on the far side, and they're gonna throw it to him, and he gets hit up in the air by Aaron Kusler, excuse me. I mean, great pass coverage. And now we're at 4th down and 8. So, I mean, Lincoln will more than likely punt it. I mean, like we've heard from Brent, I mean, Tommy Thompson could very well keep this ball and toss it over someone and get them a fake punt and touchdown off it. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm guessing they're not, as we see Feldkamp head into the backfield, and Tommy Thompson will punt this. And he punts it off to the far sideline here. So at about the 25-yard line is where Roosevelt will start. About 2 minutes left. I mean, we'll have to see. Roosevelt, I mean, like we saw, we saw like an 8-second touchdown over here not that long ago. I mean, but I don't see that reoccurring. So, I mean, we'll see Dan Embrang and his offense come out. 2 men split out wide and on each side, I mean, and
Pocket collapse,
yeah,
but he still gets it off.
But almost, I mean, right in the way of 2 defenders. I mean, not the best ball placement. I mean, not that it's end of the game and that you guys really need it, but risky situations is what I'm trying to say here.
Also, Roosevelt can't allow Lincoln to get the ball back, especially because they're way back in their own territory. If they have a 3-and-out here, they could give Lincoln a minute and a half.
Yeah,
a timeout or 2.
I mean, it's very possible that Roosevelt's content with, we got a minute 50 left, might as well just run the clock out and not give up the ball. But I mean, you get possession after this. I mean, why wouldn't you try and score with it? So I mean, I wouldn't understand that mentality. I mean, Presley Johnson is the receiver there for that one, gets about 8 on that. So I mean, we'll have to see. Roosevelt might want to kind of get a little pep in their step, because they only have a minute and a half. And it's already 3rd down. So, I mean, they kind of, we got to see what they can do, and they're moving pretty slow out here. And we'll see, like, the normal Roosevelt, 2 split out wide on each side, and they hand it off to Nate.
And he is in open field. He's going to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and it will be a touchdown for Roosevelt.
That, I don't understand that, really. I mean, there was just, it's like Lincoln just kind of froze. I mean, did anyone else see that? I mean, there were 3 guys by him, and no one really moved. But,
Yeah,
I mean,
big hole, too.
giant hole, big hole for Tyree Nave to work in. I mean, props to him, but I mean, there was not much movement there from Lincoln's side of it. I mean, if you're Lincoln, that's pretty devastating. I mean, you got a minute 10 left, and you're down by at least another 2 scores. You're back to where you started. I mean, which now it's 21 as we see, Vance Borchers kick that one. I mean, so now it's 21-7. It's pretty tough to get another score, at least another minute. But I mean, we've seen crazier. But I mean, we'll have to see. With a minute 10 left, Roosevelt is currently up 21-7 over the Lincoln Patriots. Welcome back to Howard Field and this Roosevelt versus Lincoln in-city football game. I mean, like we were talking about before, we got a minute 10 left. I mean, I don't know. If you're Lincoln, do you start throwing Hail Marys down the other end of the field and hope for the best, or do you, I don't know, play it safe? Or I don't see that really being super happy and just kind of.
Oh, and a squib kick.
Interesting play there by Roosevelt. Just a squib. I don't.
Isaiah Robinson looking like he's gonna get maybe not open field, but about to the 48-yard line.
I mean, great job there by Robinson. I mean, could have been tackled like 4 times. I mean, there was multiple times.
First and 10 Patriots at the 47-yard line.
It's Robinson looks like he's motioning at his hand or something. I don't know what's going on exactly, but yeah, I mean, great field position for them. So that was about the best situation they could have got, other than, I mean, running it back for touchdown or like running it back to the 4 or something like that. But so I mean, great job from Robinson and everyone else. But I mean, we'll see Thompson split 2 men out, and he's got a few wide open receivers.
To Elliott Hackett.
I mean, Roosevelt has not been the best at covering their men at this. I'm going to be pretty honest. I mean, I think almost every time that they've run that play, I've seen Lincoln run that play a few times, and almost every time Elliott Hackett has always been open on this near sideline. I mean, that's pretty basic. And they do the exact same play.
This time it looked like it might have been swatted.
Yeah, they got lucky with that one because Elliott Hackett was wide open again. I mean, they're just running the same play continuously, and it's working for them, so I mean, might as well keep doing it. But, I mean...
Looks like Elliott Hackett's going to go to the sideline.
Yeah. But, I mean, Roosevelt, that's something that they should... I'm guessing that they will talk about in the locker room is covering their men better, because it's obvious that they're running the same play every time and they're not covering their men. And we see Thompson has wide open field, and he could have run that, but he
looks like Luke Smith got that.
Yeah, decides to throw it to the far sideline to Luke Smith for a first down, and they got 30 seconds left, and they only have to go. Then we see a timeout.
Timeout by Lincoln, yeah.
So yeah, second timeout from Lincoln. There's 29 seconds left. It's 21-7, Roosevelt. And we'll be back for this, I'm guessing, action-packed last 30 seconds. Welcome back yet again to the last 30 seconds of this first half of the Roosevelt-Lincoln football game. And I mean, I don't see Lincoln changing a whole lot of what's been going on. They've got some good passes, some medium passes going on, and we see 2 men split out on each side over here, and Thompson throws it deep to a wide open. Wide open.
What a catch by Logan Needle.
I mean, humongous play for them. And, I mean, the clock does stop while they place the ball, so now it's starting. They have 15 seconds or so left, and
snap it.
And Thompson doesn't have a man open.
Almost
Great
picked
job
up
by Roosevelt. I believe Joey Hughes on that sideline. Great job of defense there, but stops the clock is the only issue. Smart choice there by Lincoln. If they drop the ball, you get a free timeout. I mean, stop the clock, get time to think, and come up with a good plan. But still, great job by Roosevelt there.
Yeah,
Elliott Hackett is coming back in, and they have not been able to stop that play. We will see if they can do it here, if they do run it.
Lincoln's probably going to have to go to, they still have 1 timeout, but they might go middle of the field here, but pretty soon they're going to have to take shots at the end zone.
Yeah, and I mean, Thompson looks like he might just take it, and he throws it to the deep corner, and great job of reading that by Tucker Large. I mean, you could watch, he was going to go after Thompson, then Thompson threw it, and he took off after his man. So, I mean, very, very smart playmaking there by Tucker Large, and Lincoln's going to send out their field goal crew here, I think.
They have a different kicker this time. Sam Siegel's the kicker instead.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because yeah, so he'll have to go for a 26-yarder here. See if he can make this. Roosevelt's come very close to blocking that, and that is good. So, I mean, like I said, action-packed, a little last bit of the second quarter here. And, I mean, with that, we'll end with a score of 21-10 in favor of the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders, and we'll be back after halftime.
The Lincoln High dance team doing a hip-hop routine. The Lincoln High School Patriot Marching Band proudly presents the 2019 show Playground. Musical selections include Schoolhouse by Alice Cooper and Michael Bruce, Concerto for Piano and Orchestra Movement 3 by Ben Folds, Pure Imagination by Anthony Newley and Leslie Mercuzzi, It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got the Swing by Duke Ellington and Irving Mills, and Lost It to Trying by Ryan Lott. Compositions were arranged by Kyle Haugen, with percussion arrangements by Dan Saylor. The Lincoln High School band directors are Dan Carlson and Sam Anderson. The 2019 staff includes music arranger Kyle Haugen, drill writer and music coordinator Kevin Carlson, percussion coordinator Pete Hansen, color guard coordinator Emily Savage, sound technician and coordinator Jason Raver. And there are 25 other staff members that assist the band. Drum majors are Rose Andera, Emily Kruger, Mason Leemaster, and Lauren Teller. The Lincoln High School Marching Band has a long tradition of outstanding accomplishments. The band participated in the 1992, 1998, 2005, and 2013 Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena, California. The band also participated in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1994, 2000, and 2008, as well as the Hollywood Christmas Parade in Hollywood, California in 2016. Along with these prestigious performances, the Lincoln Patriot Band has competed very favorably throughout the Upper Midwest, having won sweepstakes trophies and captain awards at numerous local and regional competitions. In 2015 and 2017, the Lincoln Band was a Bands of America Super Regional finalist, placing 13th out of 63 bands in the St. Louis Super Regional each year. In 2018, 47 students were selected for the South Dakota All-State Band, setting a new record for number of students from one high school. The Lincoln Band will perform in the following competitions and performances in 2019. Pursuit of Excellence in Marshall, Minnesota, Bands of America Regional, Cedar Falls, Iowa, Festival of Bands here in Sioux Falls, Dutchman Field Competition in Orange City, Iowa, and the Bands of America Super Regional in St. Louis, Missouri. The 2019 Lincoln High School Marching Band is comprised of 223 members, 73 woodwinds, 74 total brass, 38 percussion, 34 color guard, and 4 drum majors. Drum majors, Rose Andera, Emily Kruger, Mason Lee Master, and Lauren Teller. Is your band ready? Lincoln Patriot Marching Band, you may take the field in exhibition. Street Marching Band.
Welcome back to Howard Field and this presentation of high school football. My name is Eli Kadoon. I am joined tonight by Brent Bowen and Trace Moulton. Tonight's broadcast is being produced by Matt May. Our camera operators are Jeff Little and Mark Johnson. Maddie Tranberg, Emily Jones, and Destiny Duncan are calculating the stats for us tonight. You can also watch this game anytime on Howard Field YouTube channel. So, we just wanted to start a little early, get a few of the stats off. So I'm going to let Brent and Chase inform everyone about those.
So Roosevelt has Brady Dannenbrand with his 8 for 13 with 164 yards and 1 touchdown, and also has a rushing touchdown to tally onto that. And Michael Paulson has not changed since that big touchdown catch where he had 95 yards. So he has 2 catches for 103 yards and 1 touchdown. Belkamp has 3 catches for 43 yards. Presley Johnson has tallied 1 catch for 8 yards. Caden Jordan has 1 catch for 9 yards. Tyler Nave has carried the ball 5 times for 87 yards and 1 touchdown. And also something to add, Aaron Kusler, I believe, one of the Kusler twins has 9 or 10 tackles right now. So if you have 20 tackles, that's absolutely incredible.
For Lincoln, Tommy Thompson is 12 for 17 for 158 yards. Elliot Hackett is 4 for 35, which is amazing to keep getting those catches and yards out. And Isaiah Robinson is 6 for 20 with a touchdown.
So, very impressive stats from both sides there. And like that play you just saw there, that was that big 95-yard touchdown pass from Brady Dannenbrand to Michael Paulson, which broke the former record, which was set in 2002 with an 89-yard pass from Derek Failer to Nate Overton. So, some really impressive football so far tonight. I mean, all around, both sides, very good defensively, and we've seen some very good offense. It was just in that first half that we saw Roosevelt start to kind of click a little bit before Lincoln did, and as we'll see in this start of the second half here, Roosevelt for the coin toss deferred, so they're going to receive for this one, so they will send Tyree Nave and Tyler Feldkamp back, and it appears that Lincoln will still have Xavier Sullivan as their kicker. So
still anyone's game.
Yeah, I mean, Roosevelt's not in the clear right now, and Lincoln's not out of this. So, I mean, there's
I think Lincoln went into halftime thinking that they just need to improve their defense a little bit. Their offense is really clicking that half there.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a squib there, and there's a little fumble.
A little muff. Lincoln say they got it, but we don't know.
He's signaling for. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, and a Roosevelt player
seems
to be down.
Maybe he's getting up. Maybe never mind. He might be okay.
I thought the official actually did signal Lincoln ball.
I thought that's what he was signaling.
Lincoln was kind of walking away, so the team's reactions looked like Roosevelt had the ball, but the ref was kind of like moving his hand towards.
Yeah, I kind of.
Like he is over there on the far sideline.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he was motioning for Lincoln, but we will see that.
Looks like Roosevelt moved in motion.
They switched some old linemen up, and Dannenbrand has Tyler Feldkamp set in motion. And they hand it off to Nave up the gut, and he does not seem to get any yardage on that. So we'll have to see, because like we saw right at the end of the second quarter there, Nave got, like a 60-yard rushing touchdown? I mean...
On a third down.
Yeah, I mean, giant hole right up the gut, just kind of waltzed his way in there. So, what to see if Lincoln is a lot more pressured to focus on Nave now and not so much focus on defense. And there's a flag, so we'll see what.
Maybe a false start.
There's an offsides.
Offsides. Encroachment. Yep.
So, as you see, Doug Berg tells us that was a. Darrenberg. I keep saying Doug. Darrenberg. Sorry. He signals for a 5-yard penalty. I mean, so start of the second half. That's not that big of a deal right now. I mean, it's not a massive deal, and we'll see that Roosevelt has 2 men split out far side. They send Feldkamp in motion, and
Well, it's not
sure.
good for Roosevelt to burn a timeout. Just not even a minute into the third quarter. If this does end up being a close game,
Powerful
Roosevelt
and playful.
yeah, and we will be back with
And
there's
precise.
11 minutes left in the third
Bold
quarter. Roosevelt's
and
still up
carefree.
21-10.
It's the way you move, and it moves us. To deliver care for your whole family, to provide options beyond the expected, to help you leave pain in the past and find your way forward. Orthopedics and sports medicine at Sanford Health. Health lives here.
Welcome back to Howard Field in this clash of inner city football teams with Sioux Falls Roosevelt and Sioux Falls Lincoln here. And we'll start off here with a man in motion. Dannenberg sends Feldkamp over the near sideline and airs one out. That was Michael Paulson. That's the first time we've heard his name in a long time since, he had that 95-yard touchdown reception, which was pretty exciting. So, after a little bit of confusion there, we saw Roosevelt take a timeout, which is not really what you want to see second half. And I mean, it happens, but it's not what you want to see. And we'll see that they send 3-men trips, and they get one.
And it gets swatted down by Isaac Zarbacker.
So great job there from Sarbacher and breaking that up, because I mean, I don't know how much there was there for Roosevelt, but you never know what happens. We saw some pretty interesting stuff, and they'll do the same formation that they did last time with trips on this near side. And Dannenberg gets the snap, airs it out, is too short for Feldkamp, airs it a little bit behind him. So, I mean, we're seeing Dannenberg make quite a few throwing errors, which is not really what you want to see. I guess it's the start of the third quarter. You're maybe a little tired or still getting kind of warmed up. It's that in-between phase. But, I mean, like, towards the end of the second half, he was throwing really good passes to people, and he was doing some really good things with his arms. So we'll see if he can kind of get back to where he was with that at least. But we'll see that he has 2 men split out wide on each side. Dannenberg drops back, has an open man, but does not quite get. That was Jade Kiso. I mean, didn't quite get it to the first down, about 2 yards short. So Roosevelt will elect to punt. That is Vance Borchers that is out there right now, getting ready to punt it away here
To Hunter Merkley and Isaiah Robinson.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it appears that Leo K is still on the sideline, and he looks like he's ready to go. So, and we have a blocked punt.
Elliott Hackett running to the 30. He is out at about the 20-yard line. What a play by Lincoln High School.
Yeah, I mean, great job there. I mean, getting in, stuffing that punt. It was kind of interesting. It looked like Roosevelt Vance Borchers didn't line very far back. You'd usually see him line like 15 or so yards back, and he did not.
Elliott just jumped right on it there. He recognized it and got right to the ball.
So, yeah, I mean, huge break for Lincoln there. I mean, giving Roosevelt first possession of the second half and taking it back and then getting all the way, starting on Roosevelt's 20-yard line. So, I mean, and, Lincoln have we seen that they have some.
And there's Leo K. He's back in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, Lincoln has some great red zone offense here. So, I mean, we'll have to see if Leo K, first of all, is, I don't know if he's 100%, but if he's in good enough shape at the moment to finish this right now. And if, I mean, if they can capitalize on this opportunity, that would be huge for them because they'd only be down by 1 score. So we'll have to see as they're kind of split into an I formation. We see a timeout from Lincoln this time. 2 timeouts in the first 3 minutes, which that's extremely rare, at least for high school even, and you don't see that very often. So we'll be back when this timeout's over, and we're currently sitting at 9 minutes and 8 seconds left in this third quarter, with the score still being in the Riders' favor, 21-10. And welcome back to Howard Wood Field with this Roosevelt Rough Rider and Lincoln Patriots football game, as we see Tommy Thompson drop back and hits a
Luke Smith.
Luke Smith
for the touchdown. What a play for the Lincoln Patriots.
Yeah, and I mean that's what they needed. I mean,
just right back into the game.
And with that, you're down by 1 score. If they get this extra point, they're within 4 points. If they go for 2, they might even go for 2 on this. I mean, they could.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
I mean, you could be within a field goal then, so that way if you're in dire needs of a score, you can just boot in a field goal and call it good. But it doesn't appear that they're going to do that, and they're going to elect to go for this
Almost
PAT,
blocked.
and it is good. So 17-21 for the Patriots, and that's a big turnaround. And now they're going to send it right back to the Rough Riders. And the Rough Riders, I mean, they could come out steaming hot and not super happy about what just happened, or they could kind of try and run this clock out, which I would be extremely surprised if they decided to do that. But I've seen crazier. So, I mean, what do you do if you're Lincoln? Do you...
Notice Lincoln has really stepped up their defense since the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they're much more aggressive. They're much more up front and in the faces of Roosevelt right now, and I don't know if that's catching them off guard or what, but it's obviously working for Lincoln, and they just need to keep it going because might as well. If it's worked for you this much, might as well. So, and we'll see that we'll have Feldkamp and Naves in the backfield as usual, and
Lincoln has really killed Roosevelt's secondary at the passing game, as Thompson has 178 passing yards, and Brady Dannebrain barely edges him out, but Dannebrain also has one 95-yard pass. But yeah, the Roosevelt front seven has been unstoppable, but the secondary is really going to need some help by the end of this season.
Yeah, and we will see this ball is kind of squibbed here. And it appears that, let's see who that was. That was, I believe, Kai Rathsick. For about a 2-yard return. So, I mean, kind of interesting tactic from Lincoln. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would agree with that necessarily. Might as well just try and pin Roosevelt back as far as they can, and I don't see why not. But anyways, Roosevelt's going to start on their 38 or so, 37, and Dannebrain makes a good connection here with Presley Johnson on the near sideline. So, I mean, if Roosevelt keeps that up, I mean, they're in good position to score. I mean, they started very far up on their half of the field. So if they can capitalize on this like Lincoln just did on what they got, I mean, they could do some damage. And we'll see Feldkamp is out in the open and gets brought down. Excuse me, that wasn't even Tyler Feldkamp.
It seems like the pace of this game has really slowed down since the first half.
That was Tyree Nave, by the way. So, I mean, Tyree Nave, as we have seen, I guess, is not just a power player. As we saw there, he can still move in move around like a small guy, so which is very dangerous when you come to running backs. And he got them a first down, as we see. And we got trips split out on the near sideline, and Dannenberg connects here with Caden Jordan. And I mean, we're seeing some good life out of Roosevelt right now. I mean, they're doing things that they weren't doing last drive, which are helping them tremendously this drive. So we'll have to see as they keep sending this 3 men wide on this near sideline here. So we'll have to see as with what's going to happen here. So we've got a little bit of a dangerous combo on the third, the trips outside here. And Dannenberg takes a step back, has an open field, and looks like he might take it. He's got a wide open Feldkamp.
And that is
into
a
the end zone.
touchdown.
I mean, 46-yard touchdown completion. I mean, 2 tremendous plays here. I mean,
That was a great play by Brady Dannenberg. That was incredible. 46-yard touchdown. I believe he got out of the pocket. That was collapsing a little bit. He could have taken it and ran for 5-6 yards, but he did a great job. Not really chucking it, but throwing a great throw down the field to Tyler Feldkamp, who makes a great catch and does a great job to stay inbounds.
yeah,
and
I
score.
mean, and that's a big difference that we've seen from Dannenberg last year, Dannenberg this year. Is a play like that, Dannenberg would have either, like you said, kept the ball and maybe slid, or he would have gone for a throw. And I mean, last year he was very inconsistent. I mean, he would miss people a lot, and I mean, this year that's the big difference. Is his accuracy has increased tremendously. I mean, he can hit people from long ways down the field. So I mean, that's why they're up 28-17 right now. That's why they're up by 11 points.
Let's see how Lincoln answers that.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting because I mean, Lincoln has been doing a great job with their pass offense even, and I mean, I haven't seen anything really that shows me that they have like any real big differences. I think that they're really strong in the sense that they keep switching their offense constantly. So I mean, it makes sense that this game is this tight because both teams have had really good showings on both offense and defense. So we'll have to see how this kind of keeps playing out because we still have a lot of time to play.
And that last drive was a 4-play, 63-yard drive that took 1 minute and 17 seconds and ended in a 46-yard touchdown catch by Tyler Feldkamp from Brady Dannenberg.
An absolute dot of a throw.
And we will see Vance Borchers do a very nice,
Hunter Merkley receiving, going to
Yeah.
the outside. He
darts out at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, kind of a good note for Vance Borchers there. He's been very consistent at least. I mean, he's booting it into the back 5 yards almost every time. I mean, so. But yeah, I mean, Lincoln will start on their 18. I mean, tons of playing time. I mean, no real worries. They don't have anything that I've seen that, like I said, that would concern me from an offensive standpoint. So, I mean, I would just keep this going as they send a man in motion.
That's Hunter Merkley in motion there. And they hand it off to Kay.
And
he is tripped up, or else he might have gotten a lot more yards on that play.
He gets about 2 yards. So, I mean, it's good to see that Kay's back in there because he was a very strong part of their offense there. And when he went out, that was kind of worrisome. But still, Robinson stepped up big time and made quite a few good plays. And it appears like he might even be on the sideline hurt or stretching or something. But anyways, back to this. And we'll see Merkley heads to this near sideline. And we have another man split out far with him. And we'll see a little
Elliott
screen.
Hackett.
And he's down at about the 28, 29-yard line. So we'll get a first down out of that. And, I mean, yeah, this is kind of what we've been seeing from Lincoln the whole time. Switching it up with a run every once in a while, then we'll do a pass. And so we'll have to see. I mean, they're still doing their kind of normal I formation. I mean, distinct I formation. And we'll see Kay breaks a few men, gets a good block on this
Nice
near
stiff
sideline.
arm.
Great blocking there, even from just Luke Smith. I mean, opened up an extra 4 or 5 yards for him just by covering his man for him. And, I mean, and just like that, they're almost into Roosevelt territory. I mean, it's only been 5 plays, and they're already chewing away at field like they kind of did at the beginning of this game, which was
Another
super
handoff to
surprising.
K. Oh,
And he's brought down in the backfield by Adam Kusler there. So, I mean, we're still seeing those kind of breakout plays from Roosevelt on defense that they're still in it. I mean, they're not just kind of lulled to sleep here. They're not just waiting around waiting for them to kind of get their turn with the ball, but they're still active here, as we've seen from Kusler's, and we'll see Tommy Thompson is rushed there right at the line.
Elliot Hackett with the reception.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's still been some liveliness out of the Roosevelt defense, and like Brent and I talked about this a lot in the Brandon Valley game, is that a lot of times in the second half, Roosevelt's defense would just shut off. Like, they wouldn't do anything. Like, we saw times, like, Brent brought up a really good point about the Pregame, how they almost lost it, even though they're up by, like, 36 points. And they almost lost it because their defense didn't really keep playing. So, I mean, it's good to see that they're still actively here. And Thompson is rushed and gets a good amount of yards. I mean, he gets about 4 yards and makes a dive, but is still about 5 yards short of the first down. So, more than likely, we'll see a punt here from Lincoln, and it seems like we will. Brent got me thinking about the whole fake punt thing with Tommy Thompson being their punter, but I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess, but we'll see that Roosevelt sends Feldkamp back as usual.
It'd be a dangerous time to do it if they do it here.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah, you mainly want to pull it out around the other 40-yard line, so that even if it would fail, Roosevelt still wouldn't have the best position.
man, Feldkamp walks away from it. Takes an okay bounce. Doesn't really favor anyone there. Maybe a little bit for Lincoln, but
What was that
Roosevelt
down
start.
there?
And I mean, Roosevelt will start at about there.
Yeah, Andrew Blazevich just got absolutely rushed by the Kusler twins. I don't know what that was about. He just got. I don't know what that was about. It was about down at the 30-yard line. I don't know what happened. I'm surprised a flag wasn't thrown because they were both just. I don't know what happened. Let's just move on.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah. So Roosevelt will start on their own 18, and it is very frightening being on top of this Lincoln student section.
And that'd be
right now.
frightening for two of the possibly strongest guys in the state just rushing right at you.
Yeah, I
That'd
mean,
be a little terrifying.
Yeah, and we'll see a handoff to Nave here, about 3 or 4 yards on that. So I mean, run is still there for Roosevelt, at least for this drive, for a little bit of it. And I mean, I don't know what to say. They're both doing a really good job on offense here. I mean, Roosevelt's still switching up at least every once in a while what play they're doing and keeping a good variety as they send Feldkamp in motion to the far sideline over there. And we'll see a good pass here. I mean, to Michael Paulson, and Dannebrink connects, and it's a first down there for him. So they're still moving the chains. They're still getting things moving, and we'll kind of have to see what happens because they're still kind of in a tug-of-war match here. I mean, both teams have shut each other team down on offense so far, and I mean, it's what it's been for the past 2 or so drives for each team. So I mean, we'll have to see if one of them has a breakout like Roosevelt kind of did towards the end of the first quarter, and
that's a
Dannebrink airs a big pass out to Feldkamp, and there's a flag, and he
that'll
catches
be a pass interference.
Feldkamp makes a huge catch, and there's a flag which will be pass interference, but amazing catch there by Feldkamp.
And it looked like there was almost more grabbing there, so it honestly could be a holding. So that could be, and I mean, it's not the NFL, but that's still huge because it gives them an extra probably 30 yards.
So as we see there, it was holding. and they declined it because it would have taken them back further. So, I mean, great job by Feldkamp and by Dannenberg there, because I mean Feldkamp fought through that, and Dannenberg just put a dime on top of Feldkamp. I mean, Dannenberg threw an absolute dime there. So, great job on both sides there.
I don't think I wouldn't be too surprised if this was a career high for Dannenberg in passing yards. Just getting up there to 300 looks like he should get it by the end of the game.
Yeah, and I mean we see another handoff there to Nave, so kind of playing it safe. But I mean if I see Roosevelt's pass offense is rolling pretty well, might as well keep it going. I mean I don't see what else would be holding them back. You're on your own. You're on Lincoln's 30. I mean you might as well. And we'll see Dannenberg is in the shotgun and has a tipped ball, and on the far sideline Presley
like
Johnson almost got to it in time.
Isaac Zarbacker that tipped it.
Yeah, I mean, Presley Johnson almost got to that. So, I mean, still some good showings here. I mean, good job of not giving up, but I'm wondering what's going on here. You see Roosevelt start to line up now. But, see Dannenberg in his typical shotgun, and he gets picked off. Huge play there for Lincoln as Dwayne Nashim intercepts that. And I mean, on the flip side, great job by Paulson. If Paulson hadn't have tackled him, I mean, we'd be in a much different situation. We'd be talking about a Lincoln touchdown right now. So, so yeah, I mean, maybe I spoke too soon about the pass game. But yeah.
Yeah, that gave Lincoln, that almost saved him right there. Roosevelt was really just hammering down Lincoln, just going down the field. And if they keep going right there, it's a 18-point game, and Lincoln's just probably almost dead. And now they're down 11, okay field position. And if the score here, and they're right in it.
And he is absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. Aaron Kusler, I believe, is the one that came in with that hit, but just flattened him. I mean, and that's when you got to try to take into consideration how good is K? Like, how good is he after his knee thing? Not that was necessarily a knee issue, but that still kind of brings up the topic of, are they still worried about his knee? Are they still worried what's going to happen as they hand it off to K? I mean, he still looks like he's working just fine. I mean, I don't see anything where he's limping really hard or if he's struggling, and he's coming off the field, and as I speak, he's limping, of course. So, I mean, he comes off, and they're going to switch him out. So, I don't know. That might be the end of the game there for K, because he's not looking like he's in great shape right now because of that knee injury, but anyways, so they send another man in motion, Hunter Merkley.
Motion again.
To the near side, and Thompson throws it to
Elliott
a wide
Hackett.
open.
About the 40.
Blown coverage there by Adam Kusler, and he's arguing with the ref on the far sideline, which at this point you're just letting them know that you're there in your head. So I mean, they gotta focus more, and maybe a timeout. I'm not sure what Darren Berg was referring to there when he was motioning in the middle of the field.
There is a man down for Lincoln. Looks like it might be Hunter Merkley.
Yeah, and we will return when we figure out who that is and when they are off the field here.
Hunter Merkley that was down. They are stretching it on the sideline now.
So, towards the end of the game, it looks like it probably is just a cramp, not that big of a deal, but we will see a man in motion here as they hand it off to K. Maybe not K. Maybe that is Richardson. It appears to be Richardson. Robinson. Robinson
K's
stepping
coming back
on,
on.
and they put K back in, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. If he's in that much pain, then he has to keep subbing out,
Well, Robinson's limping off the field as well.
which is that's not a good sign for either of them because both of them have made very big plays. Robinson scored their first touchdown, and I mean, K has been a very big part with I don't know how many rushing yards he has this game, but
It looks like 43.
I mean 43. I mean he's got a good amount of yards. I mean, not a good sign for either one of them there, but I'm not really 100% sure. I'm guessing someone took a timeout. Oh, excuse me, end of the quarter. Sorry. So start of this next quarter, Roosevelt is still up 28-17, and we will see how this last quarter plays out. Welcome back to Howard Field and this presentation of high school football. We just wanted to come back again and kind of throw some stats in there, and Brent had some pretty interesting stats on defense, so I'll give it to him real quick.
Enjoy the uptime.
Well, Adam Kusler had 13 tackles, and his twin brother Aaron Kusler has 9 tackles, so combined they have 22 tackles, which is stellar.
Yeah, and I mean, great stuff there, and we'll see.
K.
It looks like another one for one of the Kuslers there, but
And K is limping off the field again.
yeah. So I mean, this is where you kind of get into the thing where do we just keep him out? I mean, at that point he's running off the field, limping terribly. I mean,
And they're putting in, it looks like Angel
Drushage. So, yeah, I mean that's not a good sign because both Robinson and K are both out. I mean,
it's a big pass to Ty Schaefer.
yeah. So I mean, this is gonna kind of throw a wrench into Lincoln's plans if their best 2 running backs are both out. Not saying that that Drushage isn't good at being at the running back position, but I mean it might kind of throw a wrench in their plans if they had different plays planned out. I mean, as they hand it off to Drushage, and he is hit in the backfield, just leveled by Adam Kusler there. So we'll have to see because maybe Lincoln is going to focus more on their passing now because they don't have their best 2 running backs in right now, or I don't know, maybe they have to focus on other things, maybe more play actions, maybe more sweeps. I don't know, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens, and we'll see that Thompson steps back to a open man and misses wide right, excuse me. So we'll have to see. I mean, Thompson's a pretty versatile player, so I mean, I could see him running the ball maybe a little more, maybe trying to get some more action going, but I don't know what they're gonna do right now with their whole run defense being an issue. Excuse me, run offense being an issue, but Thompson's still split in the backfield with 2 men wide on the near sideline, and he'll step back and air one out deep to where no one is. I mean, Nathan Moon was there, so I mean that's an issue. It's 4th down and 11, so
Probably 4 down territory with 10 minutes left in the game. And you don't get it 31-yard line, so I think, or a possible pooch punt, pin him back inside the 5, but I think they'd go for it here.
yeah, or like
I would agree.
we've talked about this whole time, a fake punt, which would be pretty cool. I mean, let's be honest, fake punts are pretty cool, but they're gonna go for it. 4th and 11, 4th and 12. I mean, and then Thompson steps back. There's no open room.
Breaking
He's
tackle.
still breaking tackles. Wide open, Hunter Merkley.
Couldn't put it in there.
Lucky break there
And
for
Hunter
Roosevelt.
Merkley seems to be hurt after that.
Yeah, lucky break there, and Hunter Merkley's still grabbing his foot, so it's not a good sign for Lincoln at this point. Some of their strongest offensive players right now are hurting and are in pain, and Hunter Merkley just sat down in the end zone and is just sitting there.
It's like a leg cramp down there.
So, yeah, Roosevelt will start at the 31-yard line. They're on 31, and Dannenberg has 3 men split out wide on his back in I formation, and throws a little screen out to
Big hit.
by Feldkamp, and he drops the ball. So it's an incomplete pass, and we see a man drop.
Another one of Lincoln's men. That is Aiden Sand.
Just drops. Interesting.
Big player for Lincoln.
He is rolling around pretty hard there. So we'll be back when Aiden Sand is either up and moving or when he's off the field. So, well, he's up and moving, I guess. So I guess we'll just stay on for that one. But he is walking off under his own power, so I wonder if that's just a cramp. We'll have to see. Since Roosevelt now, I mean, I think they've kind of exhausted their resources with Tyler Feldkamp and Tyree Nave, so I could see some other, maybe not their number one top guys to go to, but like guys like Caden Jordan, Presley Johnson, and Michael Paulson and all them. I mean, they need to start using them more because they've got pretty much all their plays run multiple times over for Feldkamp and Nave as they hand it off to Nave, and I mean, goodness, he makes it 10 yards. So, I mean, I feel like I jinx it every time. Every time I say that they've exhausted their resources, then we get a 10-yard run from Nave, but so be it.
Yeah, I think Roosevelt needs to start running down the clock here because Lincoln's down 2 possessions. If you can take 4 or 5 minutes off, it's going to be very, very tough for Lincoln, especially when they burn a timeout. So they're going to have that. Does not help. That burns off 45, 50 seconds that you could have if you could have saved that timeout earlier.
Very true, and we still see Roosevelt playing it very safe. I'm not surprised by that after their interception that Dannenberg has thrown, the only interception of the game, and we see an encroachment there, I believe, is what we'll see there. Yep. So Roosevelt will get 5 yards. So they get an automatic first down is what it looks like. We'll have to hear what they say. What Darren Berg has to say here.
Red ball. Trojan. Defense. 75. Result, the first down, 70 yards.
So yes, it was encroachment. So free first down for Roosevelt, and I mean, like we said earlier in the game, it wouldn't have been a big of a deal if it was like 1st and 10 and it was the first quarter, second quarter, whatever. But it's third quarter and you only have 9 minutes left, and that just gave them an automatic first down. So I mean, that's stuff that that can't really be happening. As we see Tyler Feldkamp get sent into motion, they hand it off to Nave up a big hole right in the middle. He gets about 10 on that. So
I think Lincoln's defense is just worn out right now. It
seems like a lot of Lincoln. I mean, their players are getting hurt. People are cramping up. They're having to go off the field for a few plays. I mean, that makes it very difficult to run a very strong and cohesive thing when you're kind of having to substitute guys out every few plays because you can't get the same guys to have a connection. And not that it's a huge deal, but you can't really get them to click. You know what I mean? But right there we saw a good job of
Spencer Wasman getting
yeah. And it's 3rd and about 4. So I mean, Roosevelt's kind of not in their ideal situation, and they're gonna have to figure out a way to try and get a first down. And they're gonna send trips out to this near sideline, and taking a long time to get this play called, and they're not gonna get sent until with about 10 seconds left on the play clock. So we'll see as Dannenberg gets ready to snap. It's a little bit high, and he keeps it. And he gets about to the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, if you're Roosevelt, I mean, you could try it. I mean, you could try and it looks like they're going to punt it. But, I mean, I was going to say that they could try and get a first down. That's 4th and 4. They're on the 42-yard line. I mean, it's nothing extremely dangerous. I mean, we've seen them run a 4th down in their own territory, and it hasn't worked out for them. But either way, we're going to see a punt here from Vance Borchers. And, I mean, really good punt here. It's
No Hunter Merkley back there to get it this time.
Oh, very, very good attempt there of by Joey Hughes of keeping that in. That was extremely close. So Lincoln will start on their 20. I mean, that seems like the number for them to start at. They start at their 20 almost every possession, but they got 7 minutes left. I mean, they got to get 2 scores in 7 minutes, and if they do score, they got to give it over to Roosevelt and stop them before.
They could try the onside kick.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but if that doesn't work out, in an idealistic situation, that would work out, and they'd still have that time, and they wouldn't have to fight Roosevelt and get the ball back from him. But worst case scenario, they don't, as we see Thompson hand it off to, I don't know if Kay is back in yet, or if they still
That's
have.
Robinson.
That is Robinson. So Robinson is in this time. Making it difficult with all these substitutions on us, but yeah, I mean, Robinson's back in at least, and we see Thompson drop a big pass out here, and we see a flag.
Interference.
Logan Needles was pretty well wide open, and it looked like Tyler Feldkamp was covering him.
That looked like good. That looked like good coverage there from Large. I didn't really see a penalty there, but maybe if I see a replay, I'd see it. But
so yeah, I mean, maybe I agree with Brent. It didn't look super bad from here, but we didn't have the greatest view. We only had the one side. So we will. That's a big play for Lincoln right there, because that's
stops the clock.
Yeah, that stops the clock. Gets them about 30 yards or so. Maybe not quite. Maybe 20, 25. But
15.
Oh,
School.
I thought it was. I guess it's different than okay. I thought it was started where the spot of the foul is. But either way, 15 yards. It's a good amount, and they're gonna hand it off to
Robinson.
I don't know if that was Robinson or Kay.
Lincoln can't afford to keep. Oh, no,
that was Kay.
They can't afford to keep on running the ball. I mean, it's going to kill the clock.
And Kay is coming out.
Especially when they have no success running the ball.
I'm gonna be honest. They need to pull Kay at this point, because I mean they need to save him. He's their best running back right now, and they need to keep him healthy as long as they can, especially with the second game of the year. It's not the biggest deal, and we see on the far sideline there that Thompson failed to complete. So it's 3rd and 9. It's pretty important that they at least convert or get somewhere near the 1st down marker to at least go for a 4th down attempt if they absolutely need to, because 6 minutes left. It's kind of do or die, and there's a ball thrown up to Robinson.
He said hard as he was going.
Yeah, and
catching it.
he is
Gonna have
very
to go
slow
for
to
it
get
now.
up. He's very slow to get up.
Just under 6 minutes. It's gonna be there's no way they can punt it off. They're gonna have to go for it.
And they rule it. I don't know if they ruled that incomplete or if he just didn't get a gain, but they're at the exact same spot they were.
The clock is running.
So they no yards on that, and they'll set 3-man out wide. 4th and 9. I mean, at this point, you gotta go for it. You gotta just.
Here, this is it. If they don't get it, it's over.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big. And Thompson has tons of time and is picked off by Nathan Moon. It's brought down at about Lincoln's 47-yard line.
And there is a Lincoln player down on the field.
It's a lineman now.
And it might.
I think that's Alex Oppold.
Yeah, so
You can't really tell from up here, but.
So yeah, I mean, he's still down, so we will have to see what is wrong with him, and we will be back as soon as he is up and moving.
Sanford Power helps young athletes discover their true athletic potential no matter the sport. By utilizing certified coaches, proven practices, and the latest technology, Sanford Power, proud sponsor of the Sioux Falls School District.
welcome back to Howard Field in this presentation of high school football, where we still have the Roosevelt Rough Riders and Lincoln Patriots still playing in this game. And that was Alex Oppold who was down there. He's getting carted off at the moment, so hopefully everything is okay for him. It's a good sign that he's sitting up and stuff, but hopefully everything is okay with him and everything works out. Kind of sucks to see someone get carted off, but great support here from the fans. So we will continue this game. There's still 5 minutes and 10 seconds left. Roosevelt currently has possession. So yeah, good signs from him. Hopefully nothing too serious. Hopefully nothing that ends his season, as he is a senior. So hopefully he can still come back. But best wishes for him and everything. And we'll see Roosevelt here line up. Dannemring, and they blow it dead. A bobbled snap here, but they blow it dead for.
Fortunate for Roosevelt there.
Yeah, very fortunate. But I'm not sure what happened there. I'm wondering if they're waiting for the cart to get off somewhere. But either way, lucky break there for Roosevelt. Bobbled snap, and we have 2 men set out wide. Dannemring's in the shotgun with Tyree Nave behind him. So. 5 minutes, 10 seconds left. Roosevelt has the ball. Best guess they're going to run this out. Hand it off to Tyree Nave as he runs up the middle for about 3 yards or so. So I would not be surprised at all if Roosevelt just runs this ball, tries to get a first down or 2 out of it, milk the clock as much as they can, then hand the ball off to Lincoln and call her a night. But there's still some fire here for Lincoln. There's only 2 scores. It's not that bad. And then as we see Roosevelt send a man in motion, and Dannemring launches one over to the near sideline of to Dannemring, and we see a flag as we see a taunt here.
Spencer Wasmond.
Losing his cool.
Right in front of the official. Smart.
Not the smartest choice there, and we'll see what Darrenberg has to say.
You can't be doing that.
Yeah,
especially at this stage in the game.
Yeah, it's not a smart decision. You'll see here in the replay. Never mind, they cut it out, but you can't be doing that stuff. You gotta have respect for the people that are playing the game against you. That's obvious, and so Roosevelt will start now on Lincoln's 30, and that's a big deal for them as they send Feldkamp into motion. And he fumbles, but he jumps on it. Luckily, he gets on that. So.
Couple breaks for Roosevelt. They got the blown dead snap, and then that.
Roosevelt. For how clean they were playing earlier, getting really sloppy towards the end here, which is not good when you're in this tight of a game. 2 scores, and that's not much in football, as we've seen that they've scored twice in, a matter of 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and they scored twice. It's not. It's kind of shaky ground there.
Could happen so quick.
It's not something you really want to mess around with. And we'll see Dannemring has 2 guys set out wide, and he's got all kinds of time, and he seems like he's gonna take it here. Now, interesting choice by Dannemring.
Does have both their timeouts left, though.
True, and
just taking a seat right there and bounce, keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is Dannemring made an interesting choice of running out of bounds. I would have slid, but I guess you're in the moment. You don't really think about that. You just don't want to get hit by a giant 200-pound linebacker. So no harm, no foul. And we're gonna. Roosevelt's on the Lincoln 26-yard line, so we'll see how Dannenberg responds. He's using shotgun and hands it off to Nave, who gets a first down here and is still moving, still going, dragging 2 guys with him. Amazing job by Tyree Nave. I mean, I'm still very impressed by this sophomore. I mean, a sophomore is able to do this, and he's dragging 2 people behind him. So, it's very impressive.
Just such a power back.
Yeah, and I mean, it's exactly what Roosevelt needed, and it appears that Lincoln probably took a timeout there.
Yep.
So
They only have one left now.
yeah, we will be back. It's after this short break with 3 minutes 22 seconds left. Roosevelt is still leading this clash of 2 inner city rivals, 28-17. Welcome back to this presentation of high school football between the Lincoln Patriots and the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And as we just come back, it appears that they just did a sweep to Tyler Feldkamp, and he scored with that. So at this point, you got 3 minutes left. Roosevelt is up by 3 scores now, as it is 34-17. And
If Lincoln scores, they would do half the onside ticket at this point.
and they'd have to.
No doubt.
They would have to.
I believe I did see the Lincoln's kicker practicing onside kicks on the sidelines.
So yeah, and you have to get through Roosevelt's defense in 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and you have to do that
3 times.
3 times in less than 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So with that kick,
Not impossible, but definitely a hard task.
very, very difficult. And as we've seen, Roosevelt has a very good closeout defense here, and yeah, it's pretty tough task for Lincoln at this point.
And that drive took 6 plays for 48 yards, and it took 1 minute and 56 seconds, and ended on a Tyler Feldkamp an 8-yard touchdown run.
And while we're waiting for kickoff here, let's look at some of the stats so let's look at Dannenberg. He's got 17 completions out of 28 attempts, it's a good percentage of 285 total passing yards. So just shy of the 300 yard mark, which is very good. 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception, has carried it 5 times, rushed for 2 yards, and has 1 rushing touchdown. And Michael Paulson still has 4 receptions, 117 yards for 1 touchdown. Feldkamp has 2 carries, 7 yards, 5 receptions for 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And after that, that's pretty much it. Let's look at Tyree Nave. He has 13 carries for 138 yards and 1 touchdown. So, very good stats by our statisticians there. Maddie Tranberg, Emily Jones, and Destiny Duncan. And so, some very impressive stats for Roosevelt's side. Still some impressive stats from Lincoln's side too, but they have a very tall order ahead of them right now, as they have 3 minutes and 10 seconds to march down this field 3 times and try and score on Roosevelt's defense. But like everyone says, nothing's ever impossible. So I mean, it's doable. It would just be very difficult, I believe. But I mean, if they get 3 big 5-second touchdowns, I mean, it's possible, as they have Tommy Thompson has 3 guys split out wide, and he airs one out to this near sideline here.
That looks like Logan Needles.
Yeah, and they're going to go into a hurry-up offense here. And they have 3 men split out wide the other side now. Thompson does a little screen. And there's a dog pile, kind of. So now it's about 3rd and 3. About 2.5 minutes left. So if you're Lincoln at this point, you just got to start airing them downfield. I mean, you don't have much time to waste. Because you still got to get off 2 onside kicks. I mean, you still got to score, get another score, and in between those, get onside kicks. And
Whoa,
Thompson
what a
almost
juke.
gets nailed. And
That's Logan Needles, and he is going in.
he's brought down. So,
About the 30. Not 30.
That's about the 30, maybe 40 yard line. 30, maybe 32, 33-ish. But great. If you're Lincoln, I don't know why you haven't taken a timeout yet. Which
Yeah,
it appears they have.
I think they're right.
Injured
Oh, we have
man
an
down there
injury.
back at 20.
Way down in the back. It looks like a cramp as he's up and moving. It's an old lineman who jogs off the field. Clock is stopped for that. And we'll see Lincoln come back out on the Roosevelt's 39-yard line. But I mean, they've marched this far in a minute. I don't see it being impossible that they make it all the way back down again. But to see as Thompson drops back and is hit in the backfield. And it looks like it was it appears to be Brandon Dannenbrink, Brady Dannenbrink, the quarterback's brother. So I mean, yeah, it's we'll have to see how Lincoln responds now, because they still have 2 timeouts. I would be taking.
Timeout now.
Oh, true. I would. So maybe that's why I was assuming that. Then Thompson just takes it and slides. If you're Lincoln at this point, I was gonna say if they had enough time, I would spike it, but they don't have the time, and they don't have the downs. So I mean, at this point, there's not a whole lot Lincoln can do. I mean,
Just try to put some points on the board.
Yeah.
Make the score look better.
yeah. I mean, and even if run some new plays, it doesn't really matter at this point. There's not a whole lot that's gonna happen. There's a flag. And we'll see that Logan Needles is the one that got that one. And we'll have to see what Darren Berg says is the penalty on this one. I'm guessing it's probably a holding, but we will have to see on that one. It appears to be a chop block, maybe from the offense, low block.
Opening the block a little late. Offense, number 20. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So, an illegal below the leg block, which, I mean, it's 15 yards back at this point. And if you're Lincoln, I would, like I said, run some new plays. Run some plays that are in the works for you. There's no real issue if it doesn't work out. There's not a whole lot that's going to come out of it. And then you get practice at least. So, I mean,
The old 3rd and a country mile.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it's very true. But I mean, 3rd and what was it? 31. 3rd and 31. Wow. So it appears that this is probably gonna be how this game ends, because there's 30 seconds left. Might get 1 or 2 more plays off as Thompson is running to the sideline, is out of space.
Not getting anywhere.
And runs out of bounds. So they have 19 seconds left. So I was wrong. They do get 1 more play off.
It's 4th down though. Turnover on downs.
Oh,
think.
very true.
Yep.
So we'll see a Roosevelt kneel. No worry and risking anything. Might as well. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Just keep the defense on the field.
I mean,
end it.
might as well. I don't see anything else. So, I mean, yeah, that's about. I mean, that's pretty much all she wrote at this point. Yeah, it's just great game on both sides here. I mean, Lincoln came out firing. great job on their part. And I mean, no reason to hang their heads about this, but I mean, great job offensive and defensive wise for both Roosevelt and Lincoln. I mean, there's nothing really bad about that game. Just some better working movements and some non-injuries. But with tonight's win, top-ranked Sioux Falls Roosevelt moves to 2-0 overall, and with the loss, number 5 Sioux Falls Lincoln falls to 1-1. Both the Riders and the Patriots will be back in action next week in the President's Bowl at Howard Wood Field. Roosevelt will face the O'Gorman Knights September 14th at 3:30 p.m., while Lincoln will play the Washington Warriors September 14th at 7 p.m. Once again, Sioux Falls Roosevelt defeats Sioux Falls Lincoln 35-17. For analysis, my name is Eli Cadoon. I'm joined by Brent Bone and Chase Moulton, and thank you to